Evening all, please be seated.
So, for your information, Madam Mayor, before you make a start, joining you in the chamber this evening is Councillor Greeny, Councillor Prosser, Councillor Rees the Leader, Councillor Cranham, Cynghorydd Jones and Councillor Alan Williams along with you, Madam Mayor. And joining you online is Councillor Darkin, Councillor Wallow, Councillor Janet Williams, Councillor Pierce, Councillor Brigoli. That's it then. Across to you, Madam Mayor.
Evening all, thank you for attending the meeting of Llanelli Town Council remotely and within chambers at the Old Vicarage Town Hall on the 1st of July 2026, 6 o'clock. Agenda item 1, to receive apologies for absence, please.
Yes, you have apologies for absence from Councillor Lloyd and Councillor Lochry, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Agenda 2, members' declaration of interest, please. Oh, sorry, Councillor Rees.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just an apology from Councillor Fenris.
Agenda 3, public participation.
There are no members of the public in attendance, Madam Mayor.
Agenda item 4, verification of confirmation of motions.
Okay, yes, quite right, Madam Mayor. We're on to the verification of the minutes.
And it's, the first one is Llanelli Joint Beverage Advisory Committee. Which was the mark, Councillor Rees.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Should any members have no questions relating to the accuracy of the minutes, can I propose we take all the items on block and to ensure they're a true and accurate record? Thank you. Second.
Any objections? Any abstentions? And all in favour, please.
That carries, Madam Mayor.
Agenda item 5, which is councillors' vacancies.
Yes, for members to be made aware that following the resignation of Councillor Amanda Carter, there is now a vacancy in the Glanamore ward for a member of the Town Council. That information has been communicated to the County Council and obviously they'll be undertaking their process. I will inform members of any actions that will be required thereafter, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Rees, you want to speak?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So on behalf of Llanelli Town Council, can I just take this opportunity to thank Amanda for her service and the contribution that she made during her time on the council. I understand that she has now stepped down due to personal reasons and we fully respect her decision. Can I therefore, on behalf of all members, take the opportunity to wish her all the very best for the future. Thank you.
On behalf of myself, I'd like to echo that, Councillor Rees. Right, anything else? Anything else? If there's anything? Agenda item 6, community development and activities. Community development officer. Thank you. It's me.
Just to say, it's been a really busy sort of like last 2 or 3 weeks, if I'm honest with you. This month so far in June has been exceptionally busy. But members have the reports, are happy to answer any questions that members may have.
We all managed to read the report. Any questions? Councillor Rees?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. And yes, absolutely, I echo those sentiments. It's been an incredibly busy month this for June. Yeah, can I just place on record my thanks to both Delif and Sean again for their very comprehensive reports and to propose the information to be noted and actions taken be approved.
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Sorry.
Yes, Councillor Pierce has his hand up with your permission, Madam Mayor.
Sorry, I couldn't see it. Councillor Pierce.
Councillor Pierce, you are on mute currently.
That old chestnut, yes. So good evening. I just really wanted to echo Councillor Rees's sentiments there and say that I was particularly pleased with the support that the officers gave to the Healing the Divide More in Common weekend that was held recently. It's a thoroughly successful event. Which took in 3 separate events over the course of the weekend, all of which were very well attended. And I just wanted to thank the officers for their participation in that. And also, you know, just to say what a great success the rugby exchange was as well. So busy weekend, that one, but all of that was all happening at the same time. But you pulled it off. So well done.
Thank you, Councillor Pierce. So with your permission, Madam Mayor, you have a proposal and a seconder to approve the report.
to approve the report, right? Any questions on that? Right, any abstentions? Any objections? And all those in favour, please raise your hand.
That carries, Madam Mayor.
Agenda 7, arrangements for the publication of meeting recordings.
Yes, you have the report before you setting out the possible process should that be the council's wish. There is now a YouTube channel called Cyngor Tref Llanelli Town Council, which is where the recordings would also be placed as part of the process onto the Town Council website, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor East, do you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you again, Madam Mayor. So yes, just to welcome the work undertaken by the Town Clerk in exploring the practical arrangements for the publication of Town Council meeting recordings. I'd like to support the proposal as set out in this report. The Town Clerk and I have both had the opportunity to be able to preview recordings of recent Town Council meetings to assess whether the existing equipment provides an acceptable standard of audio quality. Having done so, I am satisfied the sound quality is adequate to enable recordings to be published, whilst recognising even that this should continue to be monitored and reviewed, considering any feedback received. The publication of meeting recordings, as we know, represents a positive step in enabling residents who are unable to attend meetings in person to follow the discussions and the decisions of this Town Council. It was also a commitment which was made by our administration through our confidence and supply agreement, and I'm pleased that we are now delivering on that pledge this evening. It demonstrates our commitment to making the council work more open and accessible to the people that we serve. So once again, I'd like to place my sincere thanks to the Town Clerk and also to Councillor Fenris as well for her assistance and constructive input during the process. I therefore recommend, Madam Mayor, that the council approves the arrangements for the publication of meeting recordings as outlined in the report.
Yes.
You have Councillor Pearce with his hand up and Councillor Prosser, Madam Mayor.
Which one came first? John, got you in front of me.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm in agreement as well. Just for clarity, how much will it cost per meeting, or is there any cost? I'm just interested to know. Thank you.
Through the Mayor, I can confirm under the process that is being put in place, the only cost is the time taken to make it happen within the office, Councillor Prosser.
Councillor Pearce, do you wish to ask a question?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Mayor. So just reading through your notes, the reason why it's not costing anything is because it's been decided that the extra work be taken in-house, as it were, rather than having the web developer do the uploading and what have you. I'm just curious to know, I mean, clearly, if you've agreed to it out of on, then you obviously feel that you've got the capacity within the office. But I just wondered if we got any idea of how much time this is actually going to take up of officers' time, on a monthly basis.
Discussions will continue between myself and the leader, and if the leader feels that he wishes a report to be provided to council on that, I will happily provide that detail. But we can discuss that certainly as the process is monitored, Councillor Pearce.
Okay, thank you.
It was like a hay fever. I'm so sorry.
Through the Mayor, it'll be carried out through the administrative processes of the Town Council by the office. There are a number of staff in the office, and it may be any one of us at that time. As I suggest, yes, it would be somebody within the office. Yes, yeah. Councillor Cyngor Davis, the Deputy Mayor, has his hand up as well, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Davis.
Yeah, thank you. Coming on the back of Nick's question, I don't think we'll be able to calculate how much time and everything is at the moment because everything's new, and obviously we've become more proficient in it. So any unproductive time then will be reduced. So it would be unfair to try and calculate the cost at the moment, I would say. But I'm glad that it's in-house now. So yes, well done, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a proposal and a seconder as it stands, Madam Mayor.
Can I ask one question, please?
Of course, Madam.
How would the public got to know that this is on YouTube? It's advertised anyway.
That hasn't been discussed as of yet. I'll consider that and have a discussion with the leader in relation to that then, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rees?
Yes, just to echo the sentiments of the town clerk, and there will actually be a link on the website as well, which will be able to take residents into the YouTube page, just in the interest of transparency. So members will be able to share that link if needed.
Thank you very much indeed. Any further questions? Right. Any objections? Any abstentions? And all in favour, please? No.
That carries, Madam Mayor.
Nursing provision for Ystol Hale Goffer.
Yes, Madam Mayor. You will recall that the Town Council agreed a motion at the last meeting, and the letters agreed at that meeting were sent to Hywel Dda University Health Board and Cymraeg County Council. The responses which were received were circulated to members, and having discussed with the council leader and the council opposition leader, it was felt that the letters did not answer the council's specific questions. I was therefore instructed to return to both parties to ask or to provide them with an opportunity to reconsider the responses and provide further details. The County Council Director of Education and Leisure has responded, and you have that additional information here. Hywel Dda University Health Board, as of this evening, have not yet provided any additional information. So these letters are now presented to members this evening for your consideration and any further action to be taken, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Rees?
Yes, thank you for that. Yes, so following the unanimous support which was shown by councillors at our last meeting for Councillor Greeny's motion calling for the appointment of a dedicated full-time registered nurse as head doctor, I do believe that our town council has acted promptly and collectively in ongoing efforts to secure improved support for pupils attending Hale Goffer. Based on the responses received, it's very clear to me that the County Council's position is that this is a matter for Hywel Dda Health Board, and noting that, as our town clerk referred to, we have received no further correspondence from the Health Board. It does appear to me that the avenues which are available within the remit of this town council have now largely been exhausted. I therefore believe, having thought about it at some length, actually, the most appropriate next step, and should Councillor Greeny approve of this evening, would be for us as a town council to write formally to the Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care in the Welsh Government to set out this council's concerns, enclosing the correspondence which we have received to date, and requesting that the Welsh Government reviews the position. I hope that such a letter will encourage ministerial engagement with the Health Board and provide greater clarity then on what the motion originally called for, on how and when this matter will be resolved. Above all, our priority is ensuring that we get the appropriate level of healthcare support here for the children and young people attending Hale Goffer. And I hope that's something across the chamber we might be able to rally behind. Thank you.
Bear with me 1 second, Madam Mayor. Yes, you're calling in Councillor Greeny.
Sorry.
Under the secretary, they could stop it. So, action decision needs to be made down the area. One caveat is I think it's important that we stand today elected to represent community, the community of students, staff, in terms of the parents directly affected by this. We would very much like to meet, I think, with the health minister, certainly depends on the action group, with the new from the action group for the school. That is the direction of travel in any case. I totally agree with the position about the health board. I personally think there's a bit of a leak in the guidance. Seems to be which is at the moment down about daily guidance, which doesn't demand by law students. But I think basically that the case to the evidence that maybe I'll do the change in the role would require children with such desperate complex and some of the children, would be truly to have the safety and safety that way to people. So that one can't be a bit of giving the motion.
So you have a proposal to write to the Cabinet Secretary for Health, which has been seconded by Councillor Greeny, with Councillor Greeny suggesting that the letter would also include a request for the Health Minister to meet with the parents or the action group at Hir Goffa. I'm correct in saying that? Would you mind, just before we move forward, to ask any other members to whether they have any comment, to confirm with the leader whether he's content for his motion to be amended to include that, Madam Mayor?
Councillor Rees, would you reply?
1 second.
It's a lot of technology.
Okay.
Right. So yes, I'm happy to support that. I think it's important. As a town council, we highlight the issue to the Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care. I think with the parents group as well, is a matter of that group specifically contacting the Welsh Government's department as well. But by all means, we can make the reference in the letter around that.
Okay.
Councillor Davis.
Yes, Mr. Deputy Mayor, the Mayor is calling you in.
Councillor
Okay,
Davis.
thank you. No disrespect, but I didn't quite catch what Councillor Greeny said, so a bit of clarity on, and I'm not quite sure if it's an amendment or whatever. So my full apologies. Councillor Greeny is quieter than what I am at the moment, so that's a bonus for me, to be honest. So thank you for that. But if you can clarify what
Yes,
Councillor Greeny said.
as I just stated, with the Mayor's permission, Councillor Greeny was agreeing with Councillor Rees's motion and simply asking that it was amended to include asking or inviting the Health Minister, the Cabinet Member for Health, to consider meeting with Hir Goffa parents and the action group. The leader is content to include that in the overall motion, so then that now becomes the motion before council.
Is there any more questions?
Brilliant,
before we
thank you.
go to voting?
Okay,
Councillor Davis.
nobody else has their hand up then, Madam Mayor.
Right. Any abstentions? Sorry, I've forgotten.
Objections?
Any objections? There's a hay fever, please excuse me. And put your hand, raise your hand in favour, please. I'll get you right now.
That carries, Madam Mayor, thank you.
It's these tablets for hay fever, please excuse me. Agenda 9, Pride in Place programme.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have, as you're aware, the Pride in Place programme is the initiative where a funding pot of around £20 million is being made available within Llanelli over the next several years. And the chair has been announced as Stephen Donoghue, and I have circulated to members the invitation that has been sent out to community members to put their names forward for the new Llanelli Neighbourhood Board. We have now as well received an invitation for the Town Council to nominate one of its members to also sit on the board to represent the council. So therefore, that letter is brought for your attention this evening, Madam Mayor, for a nomination to be considered.
Councillor Prosser.
Bear me 1 second, Councillor Prosser. You may place your microphone on.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I'd like to nominate our Sports and Youth Officer as the Town Council delegate. The reason I choose Sean is I feel that he is much better. If I put my name down, I'm a 70-year-old white old bloke who has no thing of what our youngsters want. Sean is much closer, and I know from the time when I did the Meet the Mayor how he relates to the children. Councillors we already have on the panel. And we're well represented for the Town Council with Steve and with Sean. Luckily enough, both younger than, again, can put that younger thing there. Other councillors can go on to subcommittees. So with the amount of councillors, with the amount of MSs, MPs and everything, we don't want a board that is made up purely of politicians. And so I'd like to be left field. There are lots of good quality councillors here that could do the job, but actually I think an officer who's going to be around in 10 years' time, he won't have to sit elections like us. None of us have a guarantee that we'll be here past next May. We all hope, but nobody has that guarantee. So say my nomination is Sean, the youth officer.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. And first, I thank Councillor Prosser for his observation. I think absolutely would agree the Pride in Place programme represents a significant opportunity for Llanelli, one which has to be right for the town. Potential to secure up to £20 million of investment over the next 10 years is an important one and provides a once-in-a-generation opportunity. I think it's essential, as the Town Council, that we're at the heart of the table, providing a strong, active voice on how priorities are developed and decisions are made. We had a very productive meeting, in fairness, with the chair of the programme last week, Steve Donahue, and I welcome him to his position. Having reflected on some of the discussions which we had at that meeting, it was highlighted around the importance of potentially voting on issues in the future which could affect the town, and I wouldn't want for any reason really to put an officer in that position. With respect to the public eye and how this may roll out over time. So personally, having given a lot of consideration to the matter, I would like to nominate Councillor Cranham to serve as Llanelli Town Council's representative on the neighbourhood board. I nominate Mike because he's the deputy leader of the council, also the chairman of the Building and Finance Committee as well. So he'd be best placed, I feel, to be able to fulfil this role, working with fellow board members to ensure that the programme delivers what we all want to see, the meaningful outcomes for our communities. I also wish to acknowledge that it was raised at the meeting last week as well around having a cross-party action around the importance of having representation from the Beacon ward, and of course Councillor Cranham's nomination, in my view, would also address that concern. Therefore, in addition, I'm also taking on board Councillor Prosser's comments, which I think are important. The council, I would like to also see us to request to the board to permit an officer of Llanelli Town Council to attend board meetings in an advisory capacity, which I think would be far more suitable and appropriate. And therefore, I have no hesitation really in moving that Councillor Cranham is the Town Council's representative on the neighbourhood board, but also to make that request to have officer attendance from the council. Thank you.
Councillor Prosser.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you for letting me come back. So no offence to Mike. Mike, again, very good councillor, but this way, the biggest ward covered by the Pride in Place is Tisha, and there is no Tisha representative. And I've already asked Councillor Davis if he would stand, but he didn't want to. In which case, then I think that it should be a Tisha council. I don't agree that having a member of the staff from here would be prejudicial to the proceeding. There are people from all walks of life, from faith across, all of which not being. Will there be difficult decisions? Probably yes. Will there be political decisions? Probably no. But there are already more than enough with 6 assembly members, 2 county councillors who both sit on the town council. A bit more than adequate done, whereas say we have nobody actually representing the town council. Thank you.
Councillor Darkin, the Mayor's calling you in.
Thank you very much. I'd like to second Councillor Prosser's proposal. I think he makes a valid point in that Sean regularly engages with the community, probably even more than the councillors do, albeit in a different capacity. And like Councillor Prosser says, there's already quite a lot of councillors on the board, so I think it would be a good idea to have a bit more diversity on the board, especially some more young people. And so, yes, I'd like to second that proposal.
Have Councillor
McPherson, please. You wish to speak?
Similar to Councillor Darkin and Councillor Prosser, I'd just like to agree. I think by having Sean, he understands the young people, as has been pointed out, but also he can be impartial. And I think in these situations, sometimes being impartial is quite a useful tool. So I wholeheartedly agree with my fellow councillors, and it's no any negativity to any councillor who may have been put forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Terry Davies, you wish to speak?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I'm in agreement all the way through here, but we haven't heard from Councillor Cranham. Second to that, sorry about the noise. Second to that, where do we stand with an employed person on the board? I don't know the remit and the conditions of being on the board. I was under the understanding they all have to be voluntary, so we've got no position to volunteer a officer to take time up in the board if it's a voluntary post, because we'd be putting him into a position where he has to do work on behalf of the town council. So I don't know the full conditions of the board. I was under the impression it may be all volunteers on it, so I'm not sure where we can put Sean on it or not put Sean on it. So I think this needs to be looked into in more depth, especially out one with yourself, as putting an officer in on that position.
Yeah, as soon as the mayor has completed with the members who have their hands up, I'll make a short statement.
Okay,
Councillor Nick Pierce,
thank you, Sean.
do you want to speak, Nick? Just a minute.
You remain on mute, Councillor Pierce. There you are.
There we are. Just looking for the button. Thank you.
Bear me 1 second, Councillor Pierce. You're quite low volume. But wait, you try now. Try now.
So yes, Mrs. Mayor, just following on from Councillor Davies's point, really, I don't think we can instruct somebody into is essentially a voluntary role. So again, I can understand both sides of the argument. I'm not sure that we have got the statutory ability to instruct Sean to take a position on board. I mean, he could voluntarily offer to go on the board. We can't make a decision on his behalf. It's not democratic or constitutional as far as I can see.
So through the mayor, from my point of view, I will await the council's vote on the matter. However, should you in the end vote to nominate Sean, I would have to consider that very carefully, looking at the possible impact on his work and obviously on personal activities, because the board is likely to be the target of criticism and will be inherently political in however we look at it. I would have to look into it and perhaps report back to council at the next meeting as to whether it would be appropriate for Sean to be put forward. But obviously I'll await council's instruction this evening, Madam Mayor. Thus far, you have a proposal and a seconder to nominate Sean and the Sports, Youth and Activities Officers, my apology, and one proposal that hasn't been seconded for Councillor Cranham. So Councillor Alan Williams is seconding the leader's proposal for Councillor Cranham.
We're going to go for.
So as it stands, Councillor Rees, the leader, has his hand up. With your permission, Madam Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to come back, and absolutely, this isn't a political issue; it's a community one. Certainly, from my position, just to be absolutely clear, as leader of this town council, I have to ensure the safeguarding of our staff members, which is the absolute priority here. I think Councillor Davies made an absolutely crucial point there on the time commitments as well. By naming an officer, it would allow our officers across the board, because with respect to our community development officer, does a lot of good work as well, as does our town clerk. So by naming an officer to sit in an advisory capacity, it would just give us that more flexibility as a town council, which we need. Thank you.
Sean.
So where we stand at the moment, as I say, is you have a proposal which has been seconded to nominate the Sports, Youth and Activities Officer, with the caveats I've put forward to you that it would have to be looked at very carefully to see if that would be appropriate, and I'd have to report back to council on that. You have a proposal and a seconder for Councillor Cranham to be nominated with an officer to be asked or to request of the board that an officer of the Town Council also sits as an advisor or an observer capacity. Before we put it to the vote, Councillor Pearce has his hand up whether you wish to bring Councillor Pearce back in or not.
Councillor Pearce, do you wish to speak up again?
No,
Bear
that's
with me
okay.
1 second, Councillor Pearce.
Oh.
Okay.
No, that's okay. I was going to say something, but I've changed my mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
so with your permission then, Madam Mayor, we will be voting on the first proposal that has been put forward. So I'll do so by calling the roll for members to say in favour or against that proposal, which is Councillor Prosser's proposal, seconded by Councillor Darkin. It probably wouldn't be for Councillor Cranham to vote on these items, so I'll go straight to Councillor Darkin.
For.
Councillor Wallow.
For.
Councillor Alan Williams. Councillor Janet Williams.
Can I abstain, please?
Thank you. Councillor Pearce.
I'll abstain on this one as well.
Councillor Steve Williams.
Against.
Councillor Jones. Against. Councillor Rees.
Against.
Madam Mayor, Councillor Roberts.
Against.
Councillor Brigoli.
Against.
Councillor Greeny. For. Councillor Curry.
For.
Cynghorydd Davies.
I'm going to have to abstain on this, thank you.
Okay. Councillor McPherson.
For.
And Councillor Prosser. So the vote is 6 each, Madam Mayor, therefore you have the casting vote.
Well, I vote against but only because I feel that Sean has got a full-time job. Although I think it'd be very good, but I agree with you there. He's got a full-time job, so I would vote against.
Okay, so that motion falls, and therefore we put the next motion before council, which is for Councillor Cranham to represent the Town Council with a officer to be requested to be allowed to sit as an observer or an advisor. So Councillor Darkin. Councillor Darkin. That's an abstention then. Councillor Wallow.
Abstain.
Councillor Alan Williams. 4. Councillor Janet Williams.
Abstain.
Councillor Pearce.
I'll abstain.
Councillor Steve Williams.
For.
Councillor Jones. So 4. Councillor Rees.
For.
Councillor Roberts, the Mayor.
Oh,
Councillor Brigoli.
For.
Councillor Greeny. It's an abstention. Councillor Curry. We lost Councillor Curry, I believe. Councillor Davies.
Difficult one. I'll support the administration for.
Okay. Councillor McPherson.
Abstain.
Councillor Prosser. Abstain. Okay, that motion then carries, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Pete. Thank you. Agenda item number 10, which is, I might notice the motion.
Absolutely, yes.
Notice the motion. Please notice the motion which is in front of you today.
Yes, do you want to call in Councillor Darkin
Yes,
to
please. Read it out, Councillor,
proposes
please.
that as motion? Yes. Councillor Darkin?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Councillor
Hello?
Darkin.
There
Yes.
we go. As the last motion finished, are we on the next one? Sorry, I lost signal then.
Yes, we're on your motion, Councillor Darkin.
Oh, fantastic. In that case, I'd like to propose that we put forward the motion as is presented before you there. This is an issue that's been raised by USDOR recently, and whilst their focus is to do with shop workers, I think there's a key point here about how new technologies are being used with public-facing staff. And I think it would be sensible for us to review and consider an appropriate policy to safeguard our staff who regularly interact with the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to call in the seconder, which is Councillor Prosser?
Councillor Prosser.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As the leader said earlier, we have a duty to safeguard our staff. The thing now with hidden cameras, with people just wandering up to you, putting a camera in your face, and the next thing you know, you're on YouTube. We don't pay our staff, as I said to Councillor Cranham earlier, we're big enough and ugly enough that we take that risk of doing it, but our staff don't, and we need to protect them. And the advancements in technology, and even now in my day job, we're only just catching up with this same technology of putting in things where, you know, it could be as simple as putting notes up for camera, but we have to try and protect people, our staff, that you get the person that comes in the office and just suddenly the next thing we see Arvin or Amy or Sophia or somebody on Facebook being asked questions that are stupid, ridiculous, or whatever, just to try and take the rise out of them. So I second this motion. Thank you.
Reply.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. And firstly, yes, let me be clear. Firstly, when I say I'd like to thank the proposer and the seconder for bringing forward, it's a very important motion, this actually. We welcome the intent behind it. It seeks to protect the dignity, privacy, safety of councillors, staff, service users, and indeed members of the public in what is, as Councillor Prosser highlighted, an increasingly digital environment that we see. I think, however, the development of a formal policy in this area is likely to require guidance beyond the remit of this council. So therefore, I'll be keen in the first instance, if we can, to seek advice and guidance from both the County Council and from One Voice Wales around this on the best practice, particularly in relation to councillor conduct, the filming of fellow councillors, council staff, and the legal and governance implications in today's social media landscape, which we all see on a daily basis. So in the meantime, I hope that the principles underpinning this motion actually, in my view, complement the ongoing work which has been undertaken by our officers. We are already going through a safeguarding review, so that this could form part of that in time, hopefully. So subject to receiving the appropriate guidance, I would propose we note the motion at this stage. However, in the meantime, as a matter of good practice and mutual respect, can I also take this opportunity to encourage all members as well to voluntarily refrain from filming meetings, events, colleagues and staff on our council premises unless expressly authorised or required as part of official council business, just in order so we can receive further guidance and most importantly able to consider then a more clear and robust policy in this area. Thank you.
Amy wants to speak. Amy has to speak.
So as it stands, you have a proposal and a seconder for the motion, and you have a proposal which was to note the motion, I believe, with further information to be returned to council at the future meeting having discussed perhaps with One Voice Wales and Cymraeg County Council. That hasn't been seconded as of yet, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Cranham.
Second.
Second.
So Councillor Cranham has seconded that. Okay. I believe that Councillor Darkin wishes to come back in with your permission.
Councillor Darkin, wish to speak again, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. With all due respect to the leader, there's no proposed timescale in the motion. I think that the intent of having a policy is imminently sensible, and to try and push this down the long grass is utterly pointless. Obviously, for the clerk or whichever officer is responsible to put this in place, they would need to get advice from One Voice Wales and from the County Council, which I would expect. And I would expect the officers to work with the leader to put an appropriate policy in place. All that we're asking is that the council signals its intent to have a policy regarding this, because it is becoming an imminent problem.
Okay, you also have Councillor Steve Williams and Councillor McPherson with their hands up.
Councillor Steve Williams, please.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you. And yeah, likewise, as the leader has said, grateful that this policy has been highlighted. The issue we have to have, though, and as Councillor Darkin did highlight then, that this is just to give the notification in relation to it. We have to be extremely careful on this, because the auditors, who are the people that conduct many of these activities, are extremely knowledgeable about the law. And we need to make sure that our policy is not just piecemeal to give protection to the staff, that it is enshrined in some powers that we can actually enforce. Because otherwise there will be legislation that they will throw at us, and it'll embarrass the staff even more, because they think they'll have the protection of it. So I think in what the leader has said is that we note this and we get the guidance, first of all, from One Voice Wales and from the County Council. As I said, these auditors are extremely well versed in the legislative side of it, and it's been going on for a number of years with lots of locations across the UK. And we know that obviously they're coming into the Town Council, and just to make sure that we have that safety measure for the staff, that they don't think they've got it and then they're embarrassed on screen, because these auditors will be extremely knowledgeable, and I just want to clarify that we don't put them in those difficult positions. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Appreciate the time. Diolch, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Williams. Councillor McPherson, wish to speak, please?
Can I request a recorded vote, please?
Councillor Queenie?
You can try to speak up, Councillor Greeny, please.
Just two heads on both fronts, both sides of the argument. And I think the important thing is to act quickly. So I would be prepared to back Councillor Rees's motion, provided there was again a caveat saying that there was a time, it's a time sensitive matter. We've got elections coming up. We know there are people outside this authority outside the council who may try to embarrass or people in difficult situations. And I think it's like this is as quickly as possible. So that's my only concern.
Thank you. We go back to Councillor Rees then. Then Councillor Davis.
Yes, okay. Bear with me 1 second, Councillor Rees.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I totally agree in terms of acting urgently. That is why it's so important we get things right. It's not about kicking into the long grass at all. This is about actually undertaking due diligence, which I think is especially important for this council. Councillor Williams has covered many of the points that I was going to raise, Madam Mayor, so I'd like to move progress.
Councillor Davis, you want to speak?
Bear with me
No.
1 second, Councillor Davis. Okay, across to you.
Okay, no, Councillor Rees has taken the words out of my mouth. Thank you.
Okay, so as it stands, Madam Mayor, you have a proposal and a second for the motion, and a proposal and a second to note the motion while instructing officers to seek further information from the County Council and One Voice Wales. Obviously, the motion, the amendment by the leader and Councillor Cranham would be voted first, and then we will be voting on the substantive motion should that not pass. So the first vote is on the amended motion. And Councillor McPherson has requested a recorded vote. So we will call the roll via the call the vote via the roll, my apologies. Councillor Cranham. Cynghorydd Darkin.
Against.
Councillor Wallow. Apologies, you're on mute, Councillor Wallow.
Against.
Against. Councillor Williams. Councillor Alan Williams, yeah. Councillor Janet Williams.
Against?
Councillor Pierce. Councillor Pierce.
Chairman.
Apologies, I thought sure my microphone was on. I thought we were past all this with the new administration. I'm against it.
Councillor Steve Williams.
For.
Councillor Jones. For. Councillor Rees. Councillor Roberts, the Mayor.
For.
Councillor Brigoli.
For.
Councillor Greeny. That's against. Councillor Davis.
For.
Councillor McPherson. Against. And Councillor Prosser. The amended motion carries, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Sean. Move on to agenda item 11, matters for information purposes. Councillor Rees.
Yes, thank you. Can I propose that we take all items on block, please?
Proposal and seconder to note the matters for information.
No, correct. Anybody against it? Any abstentions? And all in favour, raise your hands, please.
That carries, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much indeed. That concludes this evening. Thank you very much.